Welcome to American Obscura. Where we peel back the layers of history's most guarded secrets. Tonight, we cross the Iron Curtain to witness an encounter that nearly ended the world. Asking questions like, why do UFOs only seem to love appearing in America? Or, is it true that aliens only know how to speak English? Historically, most publicized alien encounters have been centered within U.S. borders. From Area 51 to Hollywood movies, American witnesses have dominated the global narrative, making us forget that there was another massive superpower in the 20th century, the Soviet Union. But behind the Iron Curtain, a far more mysterious and silent reality was unfolding. On the other side of the globe, the USSR was a titan of science and advanced technology. In many sectors, Soviet innovation didn't just match the West, it significantly surpassed it. So, have you ever wondered what the classified Soviet archives truly hide? Why were there so few public reports of UFO encounters from within the Soviet Union? Was it absolute secrecy, or were they managing a contact that the rest of the world wasn't ready for? In the dark corners of Moscow, every encounter was buried under layers of state-mandated silence. The KGB operated shadow departments dedicated solely to tracking anomalous aerial phenomena. Reports were stamped ultra-secret, gathering dust until the collapse of the Union. While America had Area 51, the Soviets relied on Kapustin Yar, a hub for ballistic and alien secrets. Kapustin Yar became the epicenter for experimental tech and terrifying unidentified sightings. The most shocking of these is the Petrozavodsk incident, a massive, undeniable UFO wave. While the US showcased stealth jets, the Soviets were busy with something much larger. Their rocket technology was a masterpiece of brute force and scientific precision. The arms race was nearly a cover. Both nations were actually racing to understand the visitors. America wasn't alone in its secrets. A cold, metallic mystery was haunting the East as well. Documents now suggest Soviet contact was frequent, direct, and often terrifying. September 1977. Petrozavodsk. A typical Soviet night that changed history forever. Dr. Lev Gakin looked out his window, expecting stars but finding a nightmare. 3 glowing, oval-shaped objects hung suspended in the freezing air. They moved in a perfect triangle, a formation of impossible physics and silence. They emitted a blinding white light that seemed to swallow the surrounding darkness. Gakin and his wife watched in a trance for over a minute before the objects vanished. They left behind a strange, glowing mist that drifted toward the open window. Inhaling that smoke was the beginning of their physical and mental decline. Burned throats and instant memory loss. The marks of a close encounter. The next morning, an even larger, lens-shaped craft appeared over the skyline. This second appearance defied every known law of atmospheric science. Beams of concentrated light struck the ground, searching for something unknown. Witnesses gave it a name that still haunts the region, the Jellyfish. Hundreds of citizens stood frozen in the streets, watching the celestial jellyfish pulse. In several apartments, the sheer energy of the craft melted window glass into liquid. You might be skeptical, but the physical evidence was impossible to ignore. Media saturation usually makes us bored, but Petrozavodsk was different. What we saw in the papers was only a fraction of the chaos that truly occurred. The phenomenon wasn't localized. It was a coordinated celestial event across the Union. Sightings stretched from Denmark to the far eastern edges of Vladivostok. Finnish pilots flying over Denmark reported a brilliance they couldn't describe. Radios failed. Navigational tools spun wildly as the cyan glow filled the cockpit. Leningrad air traffic control saw their radars light up with 1,000 ghost targets. A massive red fireball tore through the Helsinki sky, recorded by every local paper. On the ground near Turku, witnesses stood just 300 meters from a spinning metallic hull. It was shaped like a giant lifeboat, humming with a frequency that vibrated the chest. Astronomers at Tuorla Observatory began a frantic search for a cosmic explanation. The data they gathered suggested the objects were under intelligent, non-human control. The electromagnetic spikes were far beyond the capabilities of Earth's power grids. The retinal burn from these crafts left witnesses partially blind for days. A Tu-154 passenger crew watched a glowing sphere pace them at 35,000 feet. Passengers screamed as the sphere began to pulse with rhythmically timed flashes. Writer Gura Panzakadze was on that flight, detailing every terrifying second. Meteorological director Yuri Gromov later verified that no weather event could explain it. But the most dangerous event happened at the Usov nuclear missile silos. On a quiet night in 1982, the world's finger moved to the nuclear trigger. Soviet guards were blinded by a sudden, intense overhead light source. Colonel Boris Sokolov rushed to the controls, only to find the base possessed. The monitors flashed a red warning, ready to launch. The codes had been bypassed. Invisible hands were flipping switches that required dual-key manual operation. Launch sequences for ICBMs were counting down, and the staff were locked out. Panic turned to despair. The override commands were being ignored by the machines. Hovering precisely over the primary silo was a colossal disc-shaped craft. A pillar of white light descended into the silo, as if scanning the warhead's core. A young soldier held the actual launch key, waiting for an order that would end the world. 15 seconds before launch, the power cut out. The sequence was aborted by the UFO. The craft accelerated at a speed that left a vacuum in the clouds, vanishing instantly. Engineers spent months testing every wire. They found absolutely no technical flaw. The Kremlin realized they weren't in control of their own nuclear arsenal. Alleged secret autopsies in hidden labs sought to understand the biology of the pilots. Recovered debris was transported to underground bunkers beneath the Ural Mountains. In 1990, Gorbachev realized the secret was too big to keep. He began the declassification. Thousands of veterans were finally allowed to speak about what they saw in the sky. 2 specialized units, military and academic, were tasked with the final truth. Years later, the US Navy Tic Tac video confirmed the same impossible physics. Princeton's radar confirmed the visitors were still here, moving in shoals like fish. FA-18 pilots were outclassed by technology that ignored friction and gravity. These crafts moved from space to the deep ocean without breaking a single wave. Current data suggests we are being monitored by a much older intelligence. Are these the same entities that stopped a nuclear war in 1982? Our oceans are no longer just ours. They are the hiding place of a titan. Even aboard the ISS, the visitors are watched, shadowing our every orbit. Astronauts report lights that follow their capsules, watching our progress. Their presence forces us to ask, are we a protected species, or a laboratory experiment? The old papers are burning away, and a terrifyingly clear picture is emerging. We are a small boat in a very dark, very crowded cosmic ocean. Official contact is no longer a question of if, but when. Are we ready? Life goes on below, while the eyes of American Obscura stay fixed on the stars. The truth isn't just out there. It's been here all along, watching us from the shadows. The truth is hidden, but it is not gone. If you want to see more, subscribe to American Obscura now. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so you never miss a single deep dive into the unknown. Our investigation into the Soviet UFO secrets is just the beginning. Thank you for watching and for being part of our community of truth seekers. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and always keep looking up. This is American Obscura. Signing off, until the next mystery.